And we're back. And today we're taking a quick look at a game called Reus. This is an oldie. Someone recommended it and it just looked interesting. Let's just do, you know what, I'll set it to 60 minutes, why not? This game was made in 2013 by a team of 4 students. They went on to form a little games company afterwards, a whole bunch of stuff after that. But realistically, this old game got recommended by one person in the comments. I thought it was actually more, to be honest, but I had to look at it because it seemed interesting, and it did not play out the way I thought it was going to. The whole point of this game is you're a planet. Yep, you're a planet. You're playing as a planet. You're a big ball planet like this, and you've got these 4 giants because you're super lonely and you want someone to talk to. Unfortunately, the giants can't talk, so what you're going to do here is create life, and then that life is going to keep you company, I suppose, or make you feel better. I'm not too sure of the exact lore. Well, it does result in a few interesting things like this. For example, you can create an ocean. Your little crab guy can do that over there. Like, get out of the way, swamp monster. So the crab digs down a big hole in the ground. This creates an ocean because obviously there's just nothing but water there. And what that does is it discolors the land around it here to the left and right of it. You see this stuff here? This is all now wasteland that's wet, as opposed to dry wasteland. With wet wasteland, what you can do is you can create forests on it or something like that. So we can example, we're going to put a forest right there. Now we could make this forest bigger, but there's method to the madness. It'll go on as we get along to more of the mechanics of the game. Now that we have one of those down, we're going to put down some plants. Yeah, say some right there. What this does is it gives resources, and this means usually a settler will come along, and that settler, who's listed there, will settle around somewhere here to gain access to those plants, which will give them food. Oh, there's our little settler there. Settler wanders over. Come on, settle down. And if we've done this just right, yeah, they've settled down. Basically, this is a forest settlement, so they're going to want a lot of food in general. But here's, well, first tip if you want to try playing this game. The villages are 4 tiles wide. You can see that there's one tile, like this is, each one of those is 1 tile. And since they're 4 tiles wide, you can't affect anything in there. What you can affect is the 2 tiles to the right of it and the 2 tiles to the left of it. Those 2 tiles you can put food, mines, all sorts of bonuses that the village will take advantage of. As well as that, as the game progresses, the borders of this village will expand further and further. This border here is not actually classified as anything. You can put resources in it, but they don't really affect the 2 tiles to the left of it. More on that later. But as this village grows, these borders will keep pushing out more and more. And what we don't want to do is leave a massive forest to the right of it just now, because if we do, then another settler might come along and decide to settle there, which would be awkward and inconvenient. We don't want that. Now, at the other side over here, we're going to put down a swamp, and for that, we're going to need a little swamp monstery guy right here. And they pretty much have the same thing going on here. They have this create swamp thing, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, then 2 more tiles over, and done. There we go. We get a little swamp up. Now, they probably won't want to settle immediately. We do have to put down another village first, but let's say put some plants there, and that should force them to settle exactly where we want. And the reason I force these guys to settle here is I want them near this ocean because, well, it's actually a really easy way to get lots of food. Alright, but speaking of which, this crab monster here can produce domesticated animals. So we're going to chuck some of those in the ocean right here. Also, this guy over here is the one that produces plants. This guy, or the crab guy, is the one that can produce animals, aquatic or otherwise. And Swamp Monster over here can actually produce their own animals, but they're exotic ones, which are slightly different. And, oh my god, what is that thing? Alright, this here is a fishing dock. This is what's going to happen. This is pretty much the core mechanic of the game. These humans are going to make requests of you. What they want to do is they want to build a fishing dock which will require 10 wealth and 20 food. Once they have achieved 10 wealth and 20 food, this fishing dock will be complete, and then they will offer you an ambassador. An ambassador is basically a level up token that you can give to one of your giants. See, all 4 of our giants here have different abilities down here, and some of them are locked. For example, this one here, let's say the crab monster, has unlocks with a forest ambassador a mineral upgrade that allows us to upgrade our mines. And everyone has an option to take a forest ambassador, put it on their shoulder, and that unlocks a special ability for them. And there are 3 different types of biome. We've got your forest, we've got your swamp, and we've got your desert, which we'll cover in a bit. So what you kind of want to do is get each one of these with 3 ambassadors on top of them. 1 forest, 1 swamp, and 1 desert. And as well as that, just to make it extra fun for you, each one of them has to have an even number of ambassadors on them. For example, if 3 of them have an ambassador, the 4th one then has to get an ambassador placed on them. You can't put 2 ambassadors on one giant until everyone's got an ambassador. It's really annoying, but it does. It's part of the mechanics of the game. Now let's actually take care of this little problem, shall we? They want wealth and they want food. So let me have a quick look. For wealth, we're going to bring over our rock monster. They're going to put down a mine, and that mine is going to provide us with gold, which is effectively wealth. Then for plants, we're going to do something a little sneakier. We're going to grab our little forest guy over here, and we're going to put down another section of fruit down here. Now this here is technically outside of the range of this village. Anything we put here won't add to their food. For example, you can see that's plus 5 food there. That's the 5 food the village is currently working on. But that 5 food we put down does nothing. They're still at 5. You can see the 3 of 5 right there. But there's this sort of a symbiosis thing that goes on here. If you look up here in the top right, you'll see that this thing's got a symbiosis little symbol, and it says Grove plus 10 food if next to an apple tree, dandelion, or strawberry. So if these blueberries, which is what the plants are right next to an apple tree, a dandelion, or a strawberry, they'll get an extra bunch of food. How do we get one of those things? Well, down here is transmutations. This allows us to turn strawberries into allows us to turn blueberries into strawberries or apple trees. However, to do that, we need to either transmute them with some abilities. We have one right here in the form of a leaf aspect. You see there it says lesser leaf aspect, but either or will do. We'll just grab this, and we will zap that with the lesser leaf aspect. And done. Now you can see we can turn this into strawberries. So if we turn these blueberries into strawberries, what that should do is cause these things to kick in with their symbiosis, and suddenly they get a plus 10 food. And there we go. We now have 15 food in this area just by using this sort of dead space outside the borders. And when this village expands, remember those strawberries will be inside the borders. It's just one of those little neat tricks. Now, of course, we've got our mine over here. This has a symbiosis when 10 wealth is in use. And when 10 wealth is in use, its symbiosis gives it an extra 10 wealth. So it generates 8 wealth now, but once there's 10 wealth is being used, you get an extra 10 wealth on top of that, meaning it scales quite rapidly. So how are we going to get the extra 2 wealth necessary? See, we've got 8 wealth here, the 15 food there, and now we need to get some sort of wealth that we put down over this section. Well, that kind of limits us, but I'm thinking we're going to grab our swamp monster. Our swamp monster here... No, sorry, one second. Our swamp monster here has this exotic animal ability. Unlike the crab here has a domestic animal ability which just produces food. We want something a little exotic so we can maybe squeeze in a little bit of gold or something like that, depending on what it is. And there we go. What we've done is we've chucked down what the hell is this called? So what we've done is we've chucked down a coral dweller which gives plus 2 gold. However, you'll see this little thing up here. Animals are a little bit weird in that they've got an animal range. So what this does is it gives plus 2 gold for everything 2 tiles left and right of it. Well, assuming it's still water or land, depending on the type of animal. So it's giving plus 2 gold here and plus 2 gold here, which gives us an extra plus 4. And why did we just pop up to 44? Oh, wow. Okay, well, this gets us onto a whole bunch of other mechanics. This game gets really deep really quickly, though. It looks so cartoony and normal, and then you start playing it thinking this is going to be easy, soothing, calm, a zen type game. And then next thing you know, you're pausing and scratching your head for 15 minutes trying to figure out what you're going to do next. Well, anyway, what happened there was this fishing dock we're trying to build is a swimming bay that gives us plus 30 wealth for each clownfish and parrotfish within 2 tiles of this fishing dock. Well, we just put down a clownfish, which means this fishing dock, which isn't even completed yet, by the way, is now giving us plus 30 wealth, which is going to crank up the entire value of the village to 44 wealth and 15 food. Great. That's just great. Now, there's a sort of this is where some of the other mechanics of this game kick in to make it awkward. Let me explain. This village here has a greed meter, and greed goes up. Well, if you give too much stuff to them too quickly, people get greedy. So in this instance, the way they've designed it is, if any one stat, say food or gold or food or wealth, is going up at 20 points or has 20 points more than necessary, you're going to get an increase in your greed. So what's happened here is the villagers have only managed to process 3 wealth, and as time passes, they'll start processing more and more of it. But because they're actually, and there we see we've already gone up already. But because they've got more than 20 wealth extra above what they're actually using already, their greed is going to start increasing. And you can see that red arrow there. It's wealth in use gathered by the amount of wealth in borders growing irresponsibly fast. We need to get rid of that mine and maybe slow this down just a tad, so we can just simply overwrite that mine by putting down some more plants. And done. Well, And that also brings us up to the 20 food required to meet the needs of this fishing dock. In fact, not only does it meet that, we're going to make a little change here. Each one of the plants, animals, and mines you can build all have this aspects up here. This is a fancy way of saying booster shot. For example, this is a growth aspect down here. It's a booster shot for plants. This is also a booster shot for plants. He actually hasn't unlocked any of his booster shots yet. This one also has not unlocked any booster shots. So unfortunately, we start out with just plant boosters. So this one here, for example, adds food and nature. And the beastie guy over there, or the plant monster, that adds technology and nature. So if we check back on these strawberries over here, which we boosted a little bit earlier, they got a potent leaf aspect, giving them +4 tech and +2 natura. Don't worry about the natura. We're not going to be getting that deep into the game just yet. So what we can do is we can take this growth aspect here and we can apply it to those blueberries right there. Yeah, those blueberries are kind of away from the strawberries, but there's not much we can do. But by applying this little growth aspect to them, go on, do your little magic thingy. Food goes from 5 to 7. Gives you a nice little boost. When we click on it now, we can see that the growth aspect is applied, giving it +2 food and 1 natura. Now, all of these growth aspects have a little random element to them. You'll see down to the bottom there it has lesser growth aspect 67%, potent growth aspect 33. So you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting a booster version, which is stronger than normal. It's just the way things are. You kind of want to get the potent ones, and sometimes you'll end up destroying and replanting things a bunch of times to try and hit that potent, just to try and get just enough resources in to finish whatever bonus they're trying to get you to complete. Alright, so this place is sorted out. If we check under this fishing docks over here, it's looking for us to get 10 of 10 wealth and 20 food. And if we look down here, the village is going to max out at 22 food and 36 wealth. I also get a little bit greedy. 1 or 2 points of greed won't kill you. But when they start getting up to the high ends of greed, they'll start killing your monsters even, or attacking them, not killing them. You'll probably just end up destroying them. So it's a good idea to keep their wealth low. Now let's go over here and have a look. And it's sort of like a puzzle game. They keep giving you more and more puzzles. Every time you solve one, they just give you another. And over here, for example, we've got a school requirement, and they're looking for technology and food. So let's see what plants and animals we have to do that with. Well, to get food... Oh, wait. To get tech, we're a bit limited. We need to get ourselves down advanced minerals, which means we need a mine, and the only available tile that they can use is this one over here. All the rest are occupied by either the village, the upgrade we're doing, or ocean, which we can't put mines in. Seems they can't mine under the ocean. I don't know what's wrong with them. They're just too low tech, these humans. So, what we're going to do is have our little crab guy come over here, and they're going to put down some fishies over here. And those fishies will give ourselves a little bit of food. In fact, that's 4 extra food right there, but it's not quite enough. What we'll do is put another fish right there, which should give another 4 to both these tiles, or another 2 to both those tiles. And that should just about get us... Oh, damn it. We're still not going to have enough to tech, are we? What's the symbiosis on this mine to boost its tech? Activate symbiosis when 5 technology is in use. Well, it will be in a minute once they start utilizing that 10 technology we just introduced. And royal stone +6 tech and +6 wealth if next to a mineral. And you know what that means? We just actually put down a mine right beside it again, and that will boost it. Though, we have to wait till our rock guy comes off cooldown. They've got to do this advanced mineral things again. So realistically, if we just drop a second mine beside this should go up to 16 tech, getting us the amount we need to knock out this technology. And we just need to get ourselves another... Oh my god, are we going to be able to squeeze in the food? I'm not sure. This could not be possible. Alright, second fishies go down. That brings us up to 4. Okay, that's 18 food. Yeah, that's perfect. That gets us the amount of food we require. Rock monster can put down the advanced minerals right there. And done. That increases that to 16. So this needs 15 tech, 15 food, and the village has access to 16 tech and 18 food. Done. So that will be finished shortly. In fact, how is our one over here doing? Are you finished yet? You just need to use 2 more food. 2 more food, which you shall use shortly. There's 19 right now. And once the last food kicks in, they will give us a forest ambassador, which we can then gift to one of our giants. There we go. Forest ambassador guy right there. Now, we're not going to pick them up just yet. You see, the thing is, this game is a puzzle game. It's a sneaky. It disguises itself quite well, but it's realistically a puzzle. So what they've done here is they've made it that, okay, yeah, but we're going to give you these buildings you have to build, but you don't know what buildings they're going to request each time. So let's say grab this rock monster over here, and we're going to build ourselves a big old mountain right about there. Now, mountains make deserts, so we've got a forest over here, we've got a swamp over there, and we'll put down one desert. We're not going to be going too complex here. You can try running 6 villages all at the same time if you want. I think I maxed out about 3 before my brain starts to hurt. And done. I believe the theory behind this is the mountains cause a big bulge, which causes clouds to form, which rain down a bit, and it kind of causes forests in the surrounding, or desert in the surrounding area. So we need to make a little something down here to encourage someone to settle. I've called over Swampy here, who, dear Lord Swampy, I feel like you're just drying out in that heat. You probably shouldn't stay out there too long. And they've summoned down some animals. Now the animals you get created in the desert differ depending on who summons them. So for example, Swampy here has summoned a bunch of desert tortoises. Let's see what animals this one summons. You can put that down there. Let's see. So Krabby summons a bunch of kangaroo rats. Okay, and each one of these have different mutations they can go up to. These ones can become armadillos and rattlesnakes, and these ones become goats and armadillos. And all of these different animals and the mutations that they can, or improvements or transmutations you can go through, all result in different bonuses and negatives depending on which ones you get. So, like, some of them work better if they're beside plants, some of them work better if they're beside mines, some of them give bonuses to other things, and you're trying to get all of these together to, mix and match to allow them to complete all the objectives they're trying to hit. Well, it turns out the desert people also want one of their problem sorted, which is they want a trinket merchant, plus 15 wealth for each mineral within borders. Okay. Well, anyway, they want 30 wealth. Once they have 30 wealth, they will be able to complete that, and they'll give us an ambassador. So, time to call in the rock guy. And they have 2 choices. Precious minerals will give wealth, and advanced minerals will give tech. Yeah, we're just gonna go with the precious minerals. In fact, we're probably just gonna... Yeah, we're gonna terraform over this entire area. Maybe not the nicest thing to do, but I don't care. Alright, cooldown off. We'll stick in a second mine. Oh, by the way, I should probably point out, this trade post gives us plus 15 wealth for each mineral within borders. Stacks up to 3, so it's increasing all of these, meaning we've got 66 wealth pouring in, and this place is about to get super greedy. Alright, I probably shouldn't be doing this, but hey, it's more fun this way. At the same time, I'm having this crab go back here and maybe install some more life stuff back here. This is because we want these villages to expand, their borders to grow. Like, for example, 1, 2, 3, this village has actually expanded 1 in each direction, meaning they have more territory to work with. So, let's see what the next thing they request is. That's 29 of 30. Once they get 30, yeah, Desert Ambassador unlocked. And there's our Desert Ambassador. Yeah, this is actually turning out to be way too easy so far. We haven't actually needed to use any of the ambassadors to improve any of our giants. Let's see what the next trade request is. So while the villages are deciding what they're going to do next, we're going to have our little crab guy, our giant crab guy over here go and pick up the ambassador. Hello, ambassador. Nice hat. And then they sit on top of our crab, and our crab now gains access to the herd aspect. Requires a swamp ambassador to get one of these, and this means we can upgrade some things. So let's say grab these plants over here. What are these? Yeah, they have a lesser predator, lesser hunt, and they have lesser exotic and lesser herd. These are just things you can upgrade. Actually, let's do this one over here. These ones would be better because it kind of goes with the theme. So we're going to grab these clownfish over here, and we're going to zap them with herd aspect. And once they're zapped, the aspect will appear up here in the top right. You done? Yep, there we go. And that gives us option to turn them into parrotfish. Now, parrotfish will change what they're worth. Right now, they're producing 4 wealth, and they have a range of 2, meaning they provide 4 wealth to 2 tiles to the left and 2 tiles to the right. And when we upgrade them there, it changes them so they give 3 wealth, but they actually throw in technology as well. However, it also changes their symbiosis. And this gets really confusing because every change you make changes their symbiosis as well. They're a barrier dweller, so they get plus 1 wealth and 1 tech for each other different fish type within animal range. Yes, so that's why they've got the points they do. Unlike the clownfish over here, which just gives a straight flat 4 wealth. Yeah, this game starts getting really confusing the deeper you get into it. Well, our big forest section over here has decided that they have a new thing they would like us to do, and that is they would like us to build them a harbour, which requires them to have 50 wealth, which, yeah, they've already got that. This little thing was already, their swimming bay thing was already giving us about 60 wealth just to start. This thing is ridiculous. But they also want a lot of food, like 90 food. Right, so what I did was I got our little forest guy here, and I got him to pick up the forest ambassador that was standing right there. This unlocked fruit aspects. Okay, so this... Alright, let's see if we can't explain this without breaking my noodle too much. What we'll do here is we're going to overwrite these blueberries with fresh blueberries because these ones are already maxed out with a lesser gross aspect. We don't want that. So we'll just overwrite them. That gets rid of the aspect, and now we can... Or was it? Now we can fruit aspect them. Once we hit them with fruit aspect, that takes them from 5 all the way up to, come on, apple trees. Yep, apple trees are only 9 though. So we want to zap them again and hit them with another, fruit aspect. What we're looking for here is a potent fruit aspect. We need a potent fruit aspect or they won't allow us to make pear trees. God damn it. Yeah, they gave us 2 lesser fruit aspects. Let me just re-roll the dice on this again. After a couple of re-rolls, we managed to get them a potent fruit aspect, which has given them a +5 to food and all that, which is great. We can turn them into a pear tree. So the pear tree takes them from 14 all the way to 33. As well as that, it gives us this thing called awe. +5 awe for every one of these pear trees. Which means they're far less likely to get greedy. The way all works is it kind of stacks on top of your natural 20. So just say the food here is currently at 70. Let's say it's 70, that means there's 30, 40. They're actually getting in 40 more food than they're using. Normally after the first 20 points, they start getting greed. However, because the all is stacking on top of it, we can actually go 50 points above because of that 30 all we're getting from the masses of pear trees, which means boom, we don't have to worry about them getting greedy about all this, and we can just chuck on an enormous amount of food on top of this. In fact, we're going to throw in some extra pears over here just to really hammer this home, and that'll also add on a whole bunch of extra all, which means they shouldn't be getting any more greedy anytime soon. Now, this is where you sometimes run into problems. Now, I have played badly here because I have placed a swamp by an ocean. You should never do that. Forests are the only one that can really take advantage of it by building out into it. Swamps don't seem to be any good. Well, from what I've tested so far. They are requesting an inventor's tower, which requires a whole bunch of food that I can't really fit in here, combined with a whole bunch of tech that I can't fit into these tiny areas that we've got. So, what we want to do is maybe just, make a little bit of a clean slate. So, all we do is, we'll grab Stompy McStomps there, and we'll do a little bit of cleaning up. Oh, there we go. Look at that. With the village gone, everything is now back to normal. In fact, we'll just maybe destroy those mines. Might be an idea. Can we destroy those mines? Maybe not. Alright, well, that's that done. Let's go over and instead start over here. I mean, when it comes to this, the swamp guys will rebuild, a new swamp settlement will happen, and then we'll just make sure that they don't stop by the water next time. No, you're going to stop by the water, aren't you? God damn it. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll just come back and squash them again, and we'll put down some plants or something to discourage them from settling in the exact same point again. God damn it. Okay, that's my bad. All right. One last puzzle, just to show you the sort of the game loop you're going to get involved in here. This is the customs house. Now, the customs house wants 40 food and 100 wealth, and they actually want this last one on here has more wealth in use than neighboring villages. That's actually going to be a little bit tricky because we've got a village out there using about 114, which that's a lot. But anyway, you'll see down here they've got this new thing that comes with this customs house they're upgrading. Plus 30 wealth for each coyote, rattlesnake, and grey fox. This gets a little confusing, have to do some checking here, but for example, see this desert tortoise here? This can be upgraded into a rattlesnake, and if we do, we'll get an extra bunch of wealth in here. We'll generate an extra plus 30 wealth for having that rattlesnake, which is good. However, to get that rattlesnake, we need to have this thing having a lesser predatory aspect to transmute it. We need to hit the tortoises with an upgrade that allows us to make them into rattlesnakes, and that leads lesser predator aspect minimum. So let's go grab this sucker down here, and we'll see that if we get this one, the Desert Ambassador, this will unlock animals with a predatory aspect, which means we just get Swamp Guy to pick up Arabian Nights looking guy. Yes. At some points, the humans will no longer be impressed. Yeah, as you go along, just completing a simple little project won't actually gain you an ambassador. They'll sometimes want you to do like a double or a triple or something like that. Not really. It's beyond the purview here. So this gives us predator aspect is now unlocked. We can now zap the turtles with that. And it won't make them ninjas or anything, but now that that's done and they've got their predator aspect, we can turn them into rattlesnakes. Now watch the gold under here. God damn it. Yeah, we'll go get the swamp guy in a minute. But watch the gold down here under 32. When we rattlesnake them out, that goes up to 64. Because we now have rattlesnakes on the map, this gives us a plus 30 gold. Perfect. Now if we get a second rattlesnakes, that will jank us up to Oh, actually, way more. We probably want to leave that for a bit because right now we should probably get in some ore or something to stop. Oh, actually, no. This is perfect. Danger. You can see down here, if the danger is at this level, the villagers will be busy defending themselves, stopping their greed growth completely. This is another way to combat greed, is having, well, dangerous animals. So between 7 and 15 is the perfect sweet spot. However, as your colony grows and gets bigger, this could become a problem. For example, if we put in a second set of rattlesnakes, yeah, the colony would actually go into high danger and it would slowly die. So we can't put down a second set of rattlesnakes just yet. The colony needs to get a bit bigger before it can support that level of danger. But this does mean that we won't have to worry about our wealth tripping over things. Took only about 5 minutes, but you'll notice here that the village got big enough that the danger level has gone down into normal level and they've started getting greedy again. That's not good. So all we do, we grab our little slime guy again and we put down ourselves some exotic animals. Let's put them down. Ooh, here is good, I think. Give us a whole bunch of exotic animals. Then we immediately upgrade them with a predator aspect. Done. Then once they're predator aspectized, we hit them with... Boom. There we go. Now we've got 2 sets of predators. What's the danger level down here? 14. Perfect. That means they're so scared, they're not getting greedy right now. And that's good for us because they're 87 of, like, oh my god, 60... We're a lot. We're like way over the require. That's okay. We'll worry about that in a minute. Instead, we're going to concentrate on food. You see, this thing doesn't just require wealth; it requires a whole bunch of food. We need 40 food, and this is a desert, so it's not easy to get that food. You know what? Let's see. I think over here would be the perfect spot. In fact, we can get rid of those mines. We're literally getting so much wealth from this over. Should we get rid of all the mines? We can get rid of one of the mines, I think, and we can turn these 3 here into a massive food production section. First thing we do is we just chuck down a fruit here using our leaf guy. I don't... Seems weird because we're going to get 1 food from that, because in the desert, it seems, it's not really very fertile. However, there is an incredible amount of bonus we can start stacking on top of this just by using some of the mechanic given to us. For example, we have... our kangaroo rats over here. These are your basic desert dwelling animals, but we can turn them into goats. And goats give more food if they can graze on plants. So what we can do is, we need the herd aspect, which we have already unlocked because we've got the necessary ambassador. And doof. And you'll notice that actually gets a little bonus everywhere, but when we upgrade these to goats, keep a good eye on those plants right there. And would you look at that? Those plants went up to 8. That's because plus 6 food on each patch with an animal in range that has a plant. Nice little bonus. Also, we can upgrade these plants to agave. Agave? Yeah, I think it's called agave. If we have the lesser fruit symbol, which, well, I believe we do, so we can immediately zap them. Then we upgrade them to agave. Come on, so they're at 8, they go up to 11. Now they're 16. Remember, those plants started off at 1, and just with a few upgrades and a few aspects applied, we've suddenly got them up to 16. Can we get them to a potent fruit aspect? Actually, that might be interesting. You know what? Let's hit them with a little bit of fertility. And then let's zap them with another fruit aspect again. And then we should be able to turn them into date palms, which I'm honestly not sure what they do. Okay, we're at 21. Hopefully this doesn't make us backwards. 37. Right. Well, how much food did we need for that thing over here again? Oh my god, 40. Okay, so this thing is providing pretty much all the food we need. We're up to 39. We're going to have to stick in some other plants or something here. But as you can see, this is Reus. And this is sort of the puzzles you'll be facing consistently. Trying to combine all their different abilities. The sort of plot is to gain yourself ambassadors. Well, you're going to need 3, 6, 9, 12 ambassadors, which means you need to do a whole bunch of upgrades. And at the same time, you can occasionally, say, destroy a village, and then when it rebuilds, you'll pretty much easily grab another ambassador because you already have most of the built-in inputs already. There's lots of little sneaky things you can do, and then we get to the end game. After going through all of that, this is your reward. At the end, you will get to unlock a bunch of new things that you can use in your future playthroughs. And it even gives you a nice little tidbit of information about the animal. For example, here's deer, which you can make from rabbits, it seems. Transmute, I should say. Deer shed and regrow their antlers every year, making it the fastest growing living tissue in the world. Had no idea. Deer are very territorial, and it is reported that deer rather starve than leave their territory. I think that's a little bit much. I mean, we all don't want to leave that comfy seat on the couch, but at some point, you gotta go get food. Seriously, that just sounds crazy. There's also some other weird ones here, but this is the whole point of it. The more you go through it, the more you play, the further you get through, the more plants and animals you unlock, which make future playthroughs easier or give you more options. For example, Deer will just give you maybe a different blend of food and science or wealth or something along those lines, and all of those different blends can be used in different situations depending on what kind of requirements the villages come up with. So it does mean that on your first playthrough through, you're going to be limited in what plants and animals you can use, and the more playthroughs you do and the more achievements you obtain, the more plants and animals you gain access to and the more options. Now, just to cover one of the things that could have potentially happened here when we were doing this. When this thing upgraded, we actually got this hunting policy, which gave us plus 30 wealth for these rattlesnakes and things like that. So by getting the rattlesnakes, we were not only able to increase our wealth, we were also able to increase our danger, which allowed us to keep everyone's greed in check, so that we didn't have to worry about their greed going out of control as we rapidly cranked up production. However, another option would be just say they decided, hey, we want mines. For every mine you have, we'll give you more, like this one above it. And it's going to crank it up so much that we're going to end up with lots of greed. Well, what you can do is, here we can do a transmutation on these mines that turns them into topaz mines, and topaz mines give you more wealth and awe. Sort of like the pear trees. So what instead we could do is aim for these, which would give us awe, which would cut down on the amount of rage or greed they would get, making them less likely to attack their neighbors. These tribes can attack each other and kill each other, and sometimes you just have to wipe out a village because it's too aggressive. Or maybe you want them to be too aggressive because you can get some achievements that way. They can unlock other stuff. There's potential there, but the thing I'm trying to link across here is this thing here, the lesser noble aspect you need, or the noble aspect you need to hit your mines with to upgrade them. That actually requires your stone giant to have a desert ambassador. So we had a desert ambassador available, and by giving it to the slime guy we got the rattlesnakes, but we had to give it to the stone guy we could have got the topaz mines. So depending on which upgrade the custom house went, we had options. And that's sort of the trick here. You want to leave your options open as much as you possibly can, so that whatever puzzle hits you with, you can suddenly do something stupid like turning a desert tile into 37 food with just a few upgrades and combining things together. It's addictive, but I don't know if it's my type of game. Definitely fun though. For an old game, I'm kind of surprised it sneaked me by this long. I think I could burn a weekend or two playing this. Anyway, this was Reus. Don't know if it's worth the $10 it's priced on Steam. Maybe I'd probably wishlisted and wait until it hits a $5, burn a weekend on it, and enjoy it that way. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this brief look at Reus, and good luck.